Hello and welcome back to Literally Heinous. We are back in the studio today, and it would not be a true LHHQ production without some technical difficulties, okay? So we are two girls, one mic today. Hello, Duke. How are you doing?
I'm doing swell. How are you doing?
Doing great. So we are recording today because there is a new Ariana Grande album.
Mhm.
After 3.5 years, she's back.
She's back, and I feel like my skin is glowing differently this morning.
So Duke is has been on Literally Heinous before. So Duke and I recorded an episode about the Britney Spears memoir, but Duke and I, our true bonding moment is with Ariana Grande.
The first conversation we ever had was, Lily, are you an Ariana Grande stan? And then I'm like, wait, yeah, how do you know? And she's like, Twitter, stan Twitter. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going to sell my soul to. Like, we are going to have a blood oath right here. Like, we're obsessed.
So Duke and I met on We Are Family, and like I always like the first few days saw Duke from a distance and was always like, wait, who is that? She looks so cool. And someone was like, yeah, like Duke's a really big Ariana Grande fan. And I was like, oh my God, because I recognized Duke from my kind of short-lived tenure on Stan Twitter when I got like really into Ariana Grande because Duke has met Ariana Grande 11 times.
11 times. Yep. 10 and a half. No, I'm just kidding. 11. 11 for sure. Yeah.
Insane. So how many pictures do you have with her?
Pictures, I would say I have about five pictures with her.
Can you, okay, how many times have you met her? Like, how have you met her so many times?
Well, I've met her at the ones with the pictures, the five are at the tours. So they're the meet and greets. I did the fan experience, which was always worth it to me. It was obviously a very quick experience, but just to be able to have any interaction, you're always grateful for. And then the other few times were at either like radio like events, like where you like rally to get tickets, like do like a lottery type thing. And then in the airport, actually. So those are the ones that I didn't really get the pictures, but I used to like be a stalker and make sure to arrive at the airport that I knew she was going to be at because I've worked for an airline for a few years. So
Yes. So when did you become an Ariana stan?
2012.
Wow. What was like your prompting moment?
Do you know what's crazy is I actually really, really knew I loved her before her first debut album came out. I mean, I loved Victorious, but I wouldn't say I was like a diehard Victorious stan. Ariana released like a song on YouTube and it
I
didn't.
remember that.
Yeah, it's called Pink Champagne, and it was like really, really like that's like back in the digging in the archives. And that song, I just remember I like how she presents everything with an aesthetic. Like she doesn't just put out a song. She puts out a song, but there's like a background. There's like everything's very detailed oriented. And I feel like if you are into being a stan, that is kind of what introduced stan culture to me because
Yeah.
she makes it easy. Like everything has colors, everything has like it's like the bows in the hair were a thing. Like she makes you kind of feel like there are ways you can like feel connected to her. Staple pieces, whether it's fashion or colors or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I feel like she was one of the really early pioneers of that because I was not an Ariana Grande fan like at all. Like I was not which is so weird. It's like so growing up I was always like I was really into pop music. I loved everything Disney Channel. I loved everything pop music, but then when I got into high school, I had major not like other girls syndrome, which was like really
No,
sad looking
no.
back. And I was like, ew, I hate pop music. But like I could always tell like Ariana Grande had so many like palpable, identifiable visual traits. So like the bunny ears or the cat ears, and then like the phone case. Remember those big ass phone cases
I
she had?
actually carried that thing around for so long to the point it was such a conversation starter when you're like 14 years old walking around with a big giant teddy. I think it was like a teddy
Yeah, it
bear,
was a
and it
teddy
was
bear
like
phone
bigger
case.
than the actual phone itself, would never fit in my pocket. So you just see these little ears sticking out of your pocket.
Like yeah, like I
And people
never
be like, what? I'm
like
like, it's an Ariana thing. It's an Arianator thing.
Ari
She hates that name, by the way, because it sounds like a baconator, as she says.
that
But
is so funny.
Arianators.
And she was really big like on Twitter, like she would interact with people and like
Sick.
that is how she like got such a big fandom even when she didn't have that much music is because it's easy to be a fan of someone when they like interact with people
100%.
because it's an incentive to like tweet at them.
100%.
So I was a hater, which is so sad. I was a true hater. I remember when I was a camp counselor, this was like summer 2015, me and my co-counselor, we had a rule, no Ariana Grande in the cabin,
I would have been expelled
which
very
was
quickly. Can
so,
you get expelled? from camp?
I
'Cause would've
can't
been
even
expelled.
believe like I said that. Like, cause that was when Problem was really big and like Bang
Do
Bang.
you think it's because she was such a confident woman, and sometimes that was an era where I feel like people were kind of threatened by that because she always just kind of appeared as a very
Yeah.
confident appearing.
I think, well, at camp, like my summer camp lore is like more hippie you were, like the cooler you were, like liking the Grateful Dead and like Allman Brothers bands, like that was a form of currency at
She was too
camp.
preppy.
And like I so subscribed to that. I was like, guys, no Ariana Grande in the cabin. Like we're listening to the Doobie Brothers and Grateful Dead, which is so
Well, it's not
humiliating.
even a reflection of the Lily that I love and know.
And it's
So,
so crazy because I get that all the time. Like when people from when I first got into Ariana Grande, which was summer 2018, I remember it exactly because I was living in Washington, D.C. for an internship. I was so bored. I had no friends. I was kind of just like on my phone a lot.
mhm,
And I was always obsessed with Pete Davidson.
mhm.
Like Pete was my life. Like there was a point, this is like kind of embarrassing, but like I remember thinking like back in 2017, 2018, like if Pete Davidson met me, like we would probably date.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that that was like that could legitimately happen. And then when he started dating Ariana Grande, I was like, what? Like, what do they have in common? And my dad was always a big Ariana Grande fan.
Shout out, Dad.
Shout out my
Still need to
dad.
meet your dad.
And he was always into Ariana Grande and like always wanted like, do you want to go to her concert? And I was like, no, like I don't like her. And then my dad and I started like talking about Pete and Ariana together, and that was right when she started promoting Sweetener.
That's not.
So
Oh,
right when like No Tears Left to Cry came out, I was like, I guess I'll give this song a listen.
that video. I'm sorry to sidetrack. That video is, my opinion, the best video she's ever. I mean, just that comeback was just.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I like remember I like every
whew.
Ariana Grande like single that came out, I was like, okay, I'll listen to this one, but only this one. And I was obsessed with No Tears Left to Cry. And I remember Jack coming to visit me in DC and me like playing Ariana Grande. And I remember him saying like, "Are you playing Ariana Grande right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but like only this one song. Like it's so good."
And
And
slowly
and then ever
and
since then,
slower.
and then I got really into her, and then Sweetener came out, and then I was just a diehard ever since.
And I feel like I'm so happy that out of all albums, if you're to say which one roped you in, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Sweetener is such a depiction of like who she is in her heart and soul. So I feel like for you to have connected with that one, it says a
A
lot.
hundred
I'd
percent.
rather you say that than you connected with, sorry to say, but like My Everything, which she'll even say is not her favorite album. That's more
Yeah.
industry baby, like not really her album.
Yeah.
So for you to have connected with Sweetener, I feel like that's so much more meaningful.
Yeah, it was, and it was just a fun time to be a fan. So I was on board ever
God,
since.
she's such a funny person. That's what I don't think people realize. And out of all the interactions I've had with her, she's the best sense of humor. Like, I mean, she will make anybody laugh. She'll make a whole room crack up
Yeah.
hysterically. So it's like she has so much to offer.
She has so much personality, and a lot
Mhm.
of that came through on social media, like during the Sweetener era and like all of those times because she was interacting with her fans. And you can even like, and looking up like Ariana Grande best moments. I mean, that was what roped me in to be a fan with how much personality she had.
Mhm.
So what is it about her for you?
For me, it's honestly as simple as, growing up like in Indiana, it's like I grew up in like a really small town and I started to really want to channel my like femininity when I was around 12, 13, which is around the time I started to get into Ariana Grande. And she was somebody I could look at that really embraced that
Yeah.
feminine aura to who she is, like the bows and the makeup and the eyeliner and just like all the little signature pieces and just like her energy just being so light and airy and poised and elegant and yet funny. Like she was somebody I kind of clinged to for
Hmm.
inspiration on a lot of things, not to really copy, but just to have like a board to like set the tone for me. And then once I realized she talked so much about like she talked about the gay community and the trans community at like, we're talking 2013, twenty
Yeah.
fourteen, which to be honest, most artists were not talking about then. Like now everyone is, which I'm so here for.
Yeah.
But back then, not really so much. And she was one of the first that she has stuck by what she believes in from day one. And when you're like not feeling seen or heard at that point in your life and you see someone at that stature coming right out the gates and saying it, I mean, it's natural that you're
Yeah.
gonna. But yeah, that's probably her style and her personality mixed together really were like the perfect blender of bliss for me.
Yeah. She is many things, but you cannot say that she is not like a legitimate ally.
Oh, she's the because she's
100%.
not one of those people. Like for me, when I think of ally, I don't even mean like I want someone to just repost everything. Like she shows up, she shows out. I mean, she takes inspiration from that community, and yeah, she is the definition of an ally. So
Yeah.
she's everyone's friend. I feel like if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
She's just fun to be a fan of because she has like, well, she's amazing singer. Like the vocals are always on 10. Her music is always really good, and like she's just in interviews, she's really fun. Like, if you haven't taken the time to just Google, like, Ariana Grande interview best moments or Ariana Grande on Jimmy Fallon, like,
She has so much personality, and there is nobody that acts like her, or she doesn't act like anybody else. Rightfully in her own lane with
100%.
how she presents herself.
So, okay, in talking about the album today that came out a few days ago. So, setting the scene. So, it's been 3.5 years since the last album came out,
Crazy.
which was Positions.
Pandemic.
Pandemic. So, going back, just like to catch everyone up on the lore of Ariana Grande, because I think that this album, more so than ever, it's important to know the context that which it was recorded.
1,000%. And I feel like knowing the backstory that really led up to this album makes this album so much more meaningful. And I would arguably say this is her most personal album, which I thought Sweetener was. So for this one to be, I mean, I didn't think you could get much more personal than Sweetener until I heard this album. Well, Thank You Next also, but this one is just, given the last few years, this one is like right on the money with Into Her Soul and Heart.
I think that this is the most personal one too. And I was really nervous for this album. I mean, we both were nervous.
We had a lot of conversations leading up to this album because we have been diehard defending her throughout the last, I'd say, what it's been years.
Yeah.
There's been some rough moments, which I feel like I have to say, every big artist has a rough patch in the media, like with like what we would call, I don't even want to say a hate era because I don't like that.
It's just like a villain arc.
A villain arc. And I don't care. Every most successful artist, Taylor, like they've all had that arc. But I feel like a diehard fan, like you ride with them all the way through.
It's been in the trenches.
It's been in the trenches, and I feel like there's been a shift in the last 48 hours, which is remarkable, but it's also like we've been here.
We've been here. So backing it up just to give you guys a little bit understanding. So Ariana Grande famously dated Mac Miller for like off and on for 5 years, I think.
About 5 years, yeah.
And Mac Miller obviously struggled with drug and alcohol addiction, and that was a lot of the source of their kind of back and forth. There were many instances of her having to like save him or like I mean, I thankfully can't speak to having a relationship with an addict, but I know that it's incredibly draining.
It's incredibly draining, and while no, I wasn't there throughout all the relationship, and I don't know them both that well, from what I understand, my knowledge, she didn't have those same issues, so it's especially hard for somebody where you're both not in it together, like you're in a clear state of mind and the other one is not. I can't imagine how mentally taxing that probably is.
Yeah. So they broke up pretty much for good early 2018.
I would say around May of 2018
May of 20
right going into summer.
May of 2018. And this is the time where she was in between Dangerous Woman and Sweetener. So getting ready to put out Sweetener. So then she starts dating Pete Davidson like quickly after, which was crazy.
Which shocked, just like in the pap photos, like.
What was it like being when that news came out?
Oh my God. Like I remember texting, like I was still living in Indiana, and I remember me and my friend group like all texting and like turning our notifications on, and like each day there was a new rollout of photos. And I always knew of Pete Davidson, like who didn't? But honestly, I won't lie, I didn't really have much attachment to him. But I remember being like, this is different and I like it. Like there's an edge, he's cute. They complement each other.
He's tall.
It's just like that edge that I hadn't really seen her with, because I just feel like he is the edgy.
And she'd never been with like a comedian before. So before this, she dated like that YouTube loser.
Janoski. He was a Janoski, and I can't remember right now. No, Jay Brooks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jay Brooks,
and then like Big Sean and
Nathan
Alfred.
Sykes was a very short stint. Oh, and Ricky. Can't forget Ricky. Ricky was
a dancer.
That was a dancer. They were together for a minute. That was a hot minute.
So she'd always been honestly like shorter men.
And
shorter men of like
tallest.
Creators, like either like dancers, singers, or rappers.
And Ariana's filled with humor, so I can imagine Pete.
And it like made sense.
She has dark humor too. She has very dark humor. So Pete is just like soothes
and
that.
Just like when I saw the news, okay, because Pete had also dated Larry David's daughter for like 2 years, like right before this. So Cassie David. And I knew about that. And that was what gave me the delusional thought that one day, like Pete Davidson and I would like naturally, like probably come together. Yeah. And so when I saw the news, like I remember my dad texted me like, oh my God, did you see Pete and Ariana are dating? And I was like, a part of me, like my heart kind of broke because I was like, oh, well, there goes that.
Yeah.
And then, so that whole summer was like a total whirlwind romance. Like, if you weren't there, like
So sorry for you
that was
because
my entertainment of the summer
oh,
was
it ran the news. It ran the
their
media.
Instagram comments. Like
Oh,
every time she would post a picture, like he would comment like, "That's my baby, like so gorgeous," and she would comment like, "Come back to bed, like I miss you. Where are you?" And
it was hot
he'd
and
respond and be like, "I'm in the kitchen, babe. Be right there." It was
it was
crazy.
just hot and sexy and funny and roller coaster of emotion.
It was
And they
literally
were at everything. They were just showing up at, like, I don't think I've
everything.
ever, I want to also point out that I liked him a lot because Ariana typically is not a, I don't want to say not a public person, but you don't really, she's not an out and about girl. She
Yeah.
doesn't go to a lot of events. She doesn't do a lot of interviews. She doesn't do a lot of like clubs, a lot of appearances. But during that time with Pete was the most time I'd seen her paparazzied in her whole career. Like it was the
And
most
she was so public, like even
public,
on
she the most
Twitter and
vulnerable I've
like
ever seen her.
Instagram, like
Even
the famous quote, like where because then when she released the track list, like every day there was a new morsel of Pete and Ariana information. I followed so many Instagram accounts that were dedicated to posting updates, like every Instagram comment, every like everything. And when, oh God, I can't remember what I was about to say. Okay, so when the track list comes out for Sweetener, and then she added a track called Pete Davidson,
everyone lost their mind. Like I remember my
I remember
jaw
where I was.
jaw hit the floor.
And that's when I realized I was like, this girl's fucking crazy, and I'm
She's
here for
and it's
it.
just somebody needed to do it. Like we've
Someone
all been
needed to
there. We
do
have that
it.
young and impulsive
Like,
love.
she'd obviously been working on this album for probably a year,
Oh yeah,
like that's how long projects
yeah.
take. And it was probably done. And for her at the 11th hour to add in a track on the whole ass album called Pete
And that's
Davidson,
immortal. That is like that's not going anywhere. You could delete it off social media platforms, but it's out there
and
forever.
then like
And she
someone,
didn't. But yeah,
and someone like tweets at
he
her,
gets
like,
royalties from that song too because it's his name.
someone tweets at her because she would go on these like Twitter spurts where she would be active for like an hour and would answer questions on Twitter and like respond to people. And someone tweeted like at Ariana Grande, like, how long is Pete Davidson? Or I mean the song. And then she'd say about 12 inches. Oh, I mean like a minute and a half. And then so that's when BDE came about. And now like the term BDE is so ingrained in society, but like the BDE came from like a Twitter user that said like everyone's freaking out about Ariana Grande, but obviously he has big dick energy. And now like BDE is just something that like it's
It's still there
that we talk about. And then like Ariana Grande is like credited
for BDE.
for BDE.
You can't give it to anybody but her.
And then the news comes out that they were engaged just when you thought it couldn't get
Uh,
crazier. Like,
which I wish I could remember how he proposed to her. I want to say it was in the apartment. I want to say it was very nonchalant.
that like massive rock. And remember when they dressed up as like Harry Potter?
Oh, I do. How could I ever
And
forget?
remember the karaoke video of them
Yes.
singing Evanescence, Wake Me Up
Yes.
Inside? Okay, so this is a deep cut. Pause the podcast right now and look up the video of Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson singing karaoke, Wake Me Up Inside.
Incredible.
Because she sings the like, Wake Me Up Inside. And then he sings like, Can't wake up in his
Can't
little
wait.
Pete Davidson
In his
voice.
Pete Davidson form.
You had to be there. You had to
I still
be
think one of
there.
the most iconic celebrity couples we've had in our lifetime, for
It's
sure.
better than like Travis and Taylor are coming close.
For
Like
sure
my
they are.
excitement for them, like
For
I was
sure.
gagged at the Super Bowl, but it was nothing.
But the personality aspect, I feel like Ariana and Pete gave more personality.
The
aspect.
lollipop
Taylor,
picture,
yeah. Oh
something
my God.
shifted in pop culture.
With the Louis Vuitton little satchel.
And like I
personally.
dressed up as that for Halloween one year, like with the ponytail, the red hoodie, with when she's licking the lollipop, looking up at
It's
him.
almost like they knew what they were doing and they were having so much fun doing it. Like, it was premeditated, all that. Like, let me just take a lollipop and put it up there.
Mhm.
Like, they were having fun with it. And I just loved that for her.
I
Like,
loved it too. Like
they-
that's what brought me on board because I was
it's
like,
she's back in New York. Something about Ariana in New York, which I'm so glad she's back in New York now, but she thrives in New York. Like,
She
that is
does.
so her.
so Sweetener comes out, great album. And then like a month later, Mac Miller dies of an accidental overdose. And that was when like the world just kind of stopped for a second.
And I remember she had just filmed in London a BBC Live performance of Sweetener, and she was on the plane back to New York when she found out he died. So that was, and I know that for a fact, and that was, I mean, I can't even imagine. You're not even in the United States and you're in the middle of a flight and you find that out.
Hmm.
Everything changes in a matter of seconds for you.
That was
How could it
when
not?
that was like fun's over.
I think that was like a definitely
That was like,
a blackout moment
and
for sure.
when I remember where I was in line at Ohio State to get my football tickets. And I remember seeing it on my phone and my heart just sunk for a million reasons. I mean, Mac Miller like defined my like middle school
Oh
and
yeah.
high school. Like Mac Miller was for like the white suburban kids who like
Mhm.
thought they were cool. But
Oh yeah.
like he was the best. And it sunk because of that, but then also my first thought is, oh my God, Ari. Like that was kind of the love of her life, like right person, wrong time, because she's in love with an addict, and addicts will never love you more than they love
Their
their
addiction.
addiction.
Hmm. When I remember the post, like I have chills to this day. The like she posted, I want to say very quickly, within a few days, a photo,
Mm-hmm.
and the line that sticks out to me from her caption was, "We talked about this so many times that this could happen," and I remember just oh, and I
Yeah.
still, I mean, for her to have even publicly said that, I mean, that has got to feel like so. I don't even know what the word is for it.
Yeah.
Just like whirl, like just spinning. Your head's just got to be
Because
spinning.
that's just your worst nightmare. And they talked about it a lot, and it happened while she's engaged to someone else. And then that's what kind of started the media frenzy of people being like blaming her.
Which is so pause, and not even Ariana Grande moment. This is just a life moment.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's inability to be able to get over an addiction is not another person's
Yeah.
defeat or win. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not. That is a. When they say it's a disease, it's a disease.
It's
So it's like you
yeah.
can't blame someone else for a disease that a person has.
And it
And
doesn't matter that she got a new boyfriend. It doesn't matter that she got engaged quickly.
no,
It
it
doesn't.
just doesn't. And it. I mean, people have to also realize, yeah, they were probably like very much in love, and they probably had. There's a lot of good moments I know they had, but towards the end, there's a reason she left.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they broke up. People have to remember that there was an initial reaction that caused them to split. So there was something that was not doing it for them. And I don't think even if you were to go back in time and say, well, you could have done this, you could have stayed. I don't think that she would have.
I think
I
that
don't think
she
that he would.
tried everything at a certain point of 5 years go by, and like
I
it's
believe.
not
I think he
her.
crashed his car under the influence, and that was the final straw. That was what I remember reading about on Twitter. And I again, that take that as a blind item, but I just feel like there were so many close calls that it got to
Mm-hmm.
the point of just that's not fair
Yeah.
for everybody else
And
too.
his family has said on the record
She was
that
incredible.
she was incredible. And like there was a rumor, I don't know if this was confirmed, but when he died and she found out, she left 900 voicemails, or she called him like 900 times just to hear the sound of his voicemail.
That is harrowing. That is harrowing. And also Myron, his dog. Well, their dog. That's her dog. She has that dog. She
Mm-hmm.
takes care of Myron. And a lot of his clothing items and a lot of his very personal items the family gave to her. And she just wore his Pittsburgh Steelers hat
Mm-hmm.
during the Yes and rehearsals. Like I mean, he is still very much
And
with her.
during the Sweetener World Tour, she would play Mac Miller's song because you know when you go to a concert and there's like a playlist of songs, you know, between the opener act and before the main act, they'll play songs. The last song on that playlist right before she would come out was Dang by Mac
Yep.
Miller.
Yep. Which is absolutely just
And there's so many instances of her sampling his songs
yeah,
or like referencing his songs. Like because she doesn't outright talk about it, but it's like the fans know. And it's very, when you know
you know.
the lore, you're able to pinpoint like exact Mac Miller references. Like to this day, I mean, this was 4 or 5 years ago that he passed away.
Which is just feels like yesterday at the same time. It feels like yesterday and a long time ago.
And I think to really understand, you can look up Mac Miller, Ariana Grande cute moments. You're probably going to cry.
Oh, the
I mean,
Snapchat era. It's called Moonlight Bay. Was her Snapchat username, and I remember I always thought that was cute. It wasn't Ariana Grande, Moonlight Bay. If you know, you know. The cookies that they'd bake at 3 a.m. in the
yeah,
kitchen.
the picture of her sitting in the
laughing,
sink during her doing her makeup.
doing her makeup. I mean, they were just so giggly. Like
Even yeah,
she just laughed all the time. With
and
him.
even watching like the Way music
Yeah.
video, I still watch it, but it
And
always
they
makes
were
me laugh.
friends first, which I think
Yeah.
is so poetic and beautiful too. You know, so
So that happened, and then quickly after that, Ariana and Pete Davidson split.
and I do feel that people need to give more grace to that situation because going into a new relationship, let alone an engagement, and then the love of your life at one point
Mm-hmm.
dies suddenly. That's too distracting for your brain. Like, oh, I want to pour in my love to start
Yeah.
this relationship, but I want to grieve my ex. I mean, it's a very confusing time. And
Mhm.
I definitely feel like that's one of those wasn't meant to be moments
Yeah.
because it's so conflicting. You know,
Mhm.
in the song Ghostin', there's a reason she will never perform that song if you listen to it. I think if you have any questions about how confusing that was, if you reference that song off Thank You Next, it
Yeah.
is the perfect explanation of how she was feeling, thinking of him, you know, at
Mhm.
night and feeling bad laying next to Pete. I mean, I just can't imagine.
Yeah. So Pete and Ariana split, and she quickly releases Thank You Next. I think it was one of those moments where, like, she just kind of the only thing that was healing her was music. So she released the Thank You Next album.
Which went on to be her most critically acclaimed,
Yeah.
successful
And
album to this day.
on the album is Ghostin', which is the song where she, talks about like laying next to Pete, but crying because of Mac. And Pete even talked about it and just said, like, the minute the news came out about Mac, like, I knew it was over.
And it's kind of like I don't feel like if I can't say because I haven't been in that shoe, but I feel like anybody would probably have reacted the same.
Yeah.
I really do.
So, and
Because there's a guilt
yeah,
aspect. Even though she doesn't need to have a guilt aspect, it's natural to have a
you
guilt
can't
aspect.
like grieve, like, there's just no way to make a relationship work while
No,
you're grieving
no,
your most
because you're
recent love.
distracted.
Yeah.
Evidently.
So then that happens. Thank You Next. So now we're into like 2019. She goes on tour for 2019. Thank You Next Sweetener World Tour, which I saw once, and Duke, you saw like 5 times.
5 times.
That is insane. Um,
Met twice on that tour.
and
Saw
then
5 times.
allegedly she met Dalton, her now ex-husband, on like the last show of the Thank You Next Sweetener World Tour when she
Yes.
was performing the final performance in LA.
Yes. Yes, because people don't realize about Dalton is he actually kind of was connected pretty well in the celebrity. And
Yeah.
like him and Miley Cyrus are credited to be really good friends back into like 2014. Like he's a realtor, but he grew up in LA. So when you grow up with money and status in LA, it's all pretty connected. They say LA is
Yeah.
big and small. So I do feel like they had probably brushed shoulders maybe before, or a mutual friend introduced them. There was a connection there. I don't know exactly what.
Yeah. So, Dalton Gomez was the ex-husband, so culprit of this album. And so he is a realtor. And I think what a lot of people on Stan Twitter and just like in general fail to realize is that like you don't have to like be a celebrity to know other celebrities.
No.
Like, and this always pisses me off because they're like, how did Dalton even like know her? Like, celebrities exist for every celebrity, they all each have their own individual circles.
Yep.
Like, celebrities aren't like friends with each other or like in each other's friend group. Like, for every celebrity they have their own circles, and there's tons and tons of people who are not outright famous, but they're still friends with famous people.
Absolutely.
And this is something I talk about like with Julia Fox, because people were always like, Kanye's dating a nobody. She's not even famous. And I'm like, okay, just because a random person from Ohio, don't know who she is, does not mean
And
that
she's
she's
nobody.
not well known within her own circles and in like celebrity circles. So like, yeah, he wasn't outright famous, and yeah, he was private on Instagram. That doesn't necessarily mean that like he was just like some down on his luck realtor who like stumbled upon an Ariana Grande. Like, no, he grew up in LA. He probably like grew up rich. He's well connected, and like he's a luxury real estate agent, and like along the way you're going to meet celebrities who are going to bring you around, and like that's how you meet
Well,
people.
and it's kind of like think about as a human being yourself. Do you all of your friends have the same profession as you?
No.
No. I mean, that's just life. Like every friend I have has a different profession. It's the same for them. They're not all the same profession. That would be so boring
Yeah,
to
like
have the
when
same.
celebrities don't like, or they rarely date like normies. Like whoever you think is a normie, just because they might not be verified on Instagram, or they might not like have a career that like their name, like just because they're not an A-lister doesn't mean that they're not, like famous
Absolutely.
adjacent. So that happens, and then that relationship doesn't go public until pandemic.
Pandemic, yeah.
So
2020.
spring 2020,
It was very private from the get go.
it was a lockdown COVID
Nobody
quarantine
knew a thing
relationship.
about him. No one spotted them anywhere. I think she learned from a lot of the. There was a lot of criticism her and Pete got. As much as we loved it,
Hmm.
the media did scrutinize their relationship a lot, and I think she did not want a repeat of that with
with
Dalton.
Dalton.
She said, you know what? I'm going to scale it back.
Yeah, and this is honestly like kind of Taylor Swift coded a little
Mhm.
bit to go from these really high profile
To the opposite.
relationships. And while it's fun and she probably had a lot of fun with Pete, it was also probably stressful. So it would make sense the next relationship she wants to get in, or
Right.
the next relationship Taylor Swift wants to get in, they want to keep that one private.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, Joe Alwyn, Ariana Grande, Dalton Gomez.
Mhm.
And so that happens all of quarantine. They're still together. So then October of 2020, she releases Positions. Um, this Positions was not our favorite album.
I always say it's my cloudy album, and that probably sounds so bizarre, but like when I'm like flying through like on the plane, like I'm going through some clouds, or it's just very
Yeah.
dreary day. Like today is a very dreary day, and I'm just laying down chilling. That's a great album. It's not an album I'm gonna drive and put the windows down and let the
Hmm.
sun hit my. It's a very
Yeah. It's my
zen.
work album. I'll play it the full way through when I'm
It's
working.
very zen.
So it was very
It wasn't what we
much.
expected.
So it was this really like sex-filled album. And that's what like I was nervous from the get-go. Like when the first kind of like tweets about the album came out was that it was this very like horned up, quarantine, found my bae, booed up, lockdown album.
And also, if you can't relate to that, like I was single that entire time, it's very hard to connect with that if you're not in that position. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
a
That was a
hundred
very
percent.
hard album to relate with.
There were really no bops. Like the lead single
I
Positions,
think
like
Positions was the close. I think
switching my positions for you. I would say that's probably my least favorite single. Like I never really listened to it. I thought the music video was really fun. I loved the music video. My favorite off the album was I think 34 35 was the biggest like
I love Just Like Magic,
banger.
the
That's
manifestation
my
song.
favorite.
Yeah,
That's my
because that is
favorite.
something everyone can relate to. The manifestation one I thought was very cute.
Just Like Magic is my favorite. Like I get everything I want because I attract
I
it.
thought that was powerful.
Yeah, like keep my conscience clear. That's why I'm so magnetic. That was a banger. And that's like a slept on one. So
It really is. That's like if you're a fan, you know. If you're a stan, you know that one. And I love that you. It's like when I said it, I was like, she's gonna know this one. That's just like, if you know, you
100%.
know.
So when Positions came out, I was like, and then when she was doing her like baby press tour for it, I mean, she was like pandemic, so it was like nothing.
I feel like I don't even. She did one interview on record that I remember, and it
Yeah.
was Zach saying virtually, because this
And
was in the height of the pandemic.
yeah,
That's kind of when she shaded the TikTokers.
Oh yeah, that
Did
was
you
funny.
with Saddle Ranch? And
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I kind of was like, ooh, gagged by that.
Yeah, because yeah, okay, so she was like really quiet during this era, and it was just kind of disappointing to go from like crazy Pete and Ariana to Sweetener to Thank You Next to the world tour, and then like Ariana coming out and being like, "This is the new me. This is the most me I've ever felt," and she like delivers this like boring ass album
Although
that
POV is a great wedding album or wedding song.
yeah,
POV
POV is good.
beautiful.
But I was disheartened to like because the album is all R&B too. Like it's completely
Straight.
R&B, like rap,
No
honestly.
versatility to it.
No pop bangers, like nothing like
Mhm.
that. No, there was one ballad, POV was a ballad, but the rest was R&B. And when she says like this is the most me I've ever felt, this is the most personal album, like this album feels the most authentically me. And I'm like, really? And a part of me felt kind of betrayed.
And I think, especially hearing Eternal Sunshine now,
Oh.
I could arguably, and I really mean this, just because of the detail with the vocal arranging, not to go off, this is the most authentic album she's ever released.
100%.
This is her. Like this
Yeah.
and Sweetener are a big tie for me on what is her.
Yeah.
I really feel that way.
Yeah, so I was a little nervous. So I think, okay, so then just going back to the timeline quickly. So she and Dalton get married in May 2021 with this like tiny ass wedding in their house
In Montecito.
in Montecito. Vogue shot the wedding. It was
Her
incredible.
dress was stunning and
She
simple.
looked amazing. Those wedding
Gorgeous.
pictures
They were flawless.
slayed. And then 2021 to 2022 to 2023, we hear nothing.
It went radio silent.
Radio silent from May 2021, honestly, to like May 2023. The only thing we got was The Voice.
And that was very obviously manufactured because she's not gonna. It's not very personal. It's
Mhm.
very much a work thing.
Yeah.
But I do love her little funny
I
moments.
had
and that
so
was-
much fun watching The Voice.
It was moments of her personality shining. Just the
Mhm.
reaction she would have with the other judges, and she's a goofball at heart, and that's something we love about her.
I loved watching her on The Voice, and I watched it with Zoe, who wasn't like a diehard Ariana fan, but I think Zoe really got like
Into her little
was able to understand because you could see her personality. So brings us to summer 2023 when she's filming. This is when shit goes down. So to we'll just cover
It was a
this.
dark era for the fans, I
This
will
was
say.
tough. So in like
We
June,
survived. We made it out of it.
June 2023 and summer 2023, she's filming Wicked. And like playing Glinda was her dream role since she
Which I
was
knew that.
a child.
Yes, this was the biggest thing you could have ever given her in her career. This probably meant more to her than winning a Grammy, anything. This was her, what she was born on this earth to do.
This is her end all be all. And it might seem easy to us. It's like, well, obviously she would get to play Wicked. Like, duh, she's Ariana
She
Grande.
had auditioned just like the rest of everybody else, and there were some other really big names that went up against her
Yeah,
too.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yep, Amanda Seyfried. There were a lot of other really big artists that went up.
She trained for the audition for 6 months, and she hired the best vocal coaches, the best acting coaches. She trained for this for 6 months. She auditioned like everyone else.
Absolutely. And I think, if anything, correct me if you think this is wrong, but people, as much as everyone is quick to say it's so obvious she'd get it and so easy, I could also see where it would also hurt her and be hard because
Mhm.
everyone in the GA, general public, knows her as Ariana Grande, and you want her to be Glinda, right? As a
Mhm.
director, you want her to portray Glinda, and they may not want that attachment to looking at her in the movie as, oh, that's just Ariana Grande. Like, you want to look at that and say Glinda, but your brain programs to say that's Ariana Grande. Like, I feel like that could actually be harder
Mhm.
for her to have gotten the role.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
I
mean?
can definitely see
Because
that too.
they don't want that attachment. A
Yeah.
pop star, they want Glinda the witch. The
Yeah.
witch.
Yeah, I mean, and then you're gonna get people that are like only watching it for her or like
Right.
tearing the movie apart, like because they don't
And
like
ripping
her.
the rest of the cast
She
just
has a lot of baggage and she's got a lot of haters. So
a lot of
obviously
personality
people
attachment.
are gonna whatever. So she's in London filming Wicked. Dalton is back at their house in LA. And we start seeing some reports. I don't remember the timeline of what came first, but whatever came first tabloid wise is no reflection of what happened in real life. The order that which articles came out does not reflect any accurate
No.
timelines.
Mm-mm.
So we get wind that she kind of has a fling with one of her co-stars, Ethan Slater. And then we get wind that Ari and Dalton are getting a divorce. And then we find out that Ethan and his wife, Lily, are getting a divorce too. And then all these crazy articles come out about like sources close to the subject, which like doesn't mean anything. And then so these home wrecking allegations are coming out. People are saying that like Ariana Grande tore Ethan and Lily apart, like she held their baby.
Well, and a blind item that I do feel like is very important to point out. Granted, there's no factual information here,
Yeah.
but it's before all that came out about the home wrecking and the fleeing with Ethan. During when she first got to London, there was a lot of talk of Dalton had only been to London twice within a year to visit her, and she can't come back to LA. She's wrapped there, so it is kind of your responsibility to go there. She's trapped there for the contract. There were also a lot of verbally and somewhat physically abusive claims about Dalton and Ariana that he very much did not like the stature of her fame and the attention that their relationship brought, because you have to think they started dating in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So they were a pandemic relationship. So they were used to being at home, just them two trapped in the house together. So then when the world opened back up and she went back to being this bigger than life thing that she is, he couldn't handle it. And it was too overwhelming for him. And I do feel like a lot of the fans, I could speak for a lot of the stands to say that we feel like being with Dalton was the most private she's ever been. And you have to wonder if the relationship had something to do with that.
So I've got a couple blind items that I pulled from from Twitter. So these are not confirmed, but there's a lot of these that like show a pattern. So this is from October 2022. This train wreck of a marriage of this A-list singer got herself into is destroying her health. When you're super thin, but your husband calls you fat, it's going to cause you damage. Ariana Grande. This is October 2021. This network talent show had to reshoot a segment because this A-list singer didn't have her wedding ring on. She said she would have an hours-long fight with her husband if he noticed it wasn't on, so the ring was brought from her dressing room and they shot the segment again. The Voice, Ariana Grande. And then even some of the lyrics and positions were kind of crazy. Like she would say like act so possessive and crazy. So like
it's not, I don't know how to explain this, but it's not a hard stretch for me to believe either.
It's not a hard stretch for me either.
Because granted, do I think that he has to take on her life and be public and doing interviews and all that? No, but I do feel like he showed no attention to any of her life. Like there was no, you couldn't show up at an event with her and just, support her. I feel like he was very absent from a lot of her career.
And like, not to make everything about Taylor Swift, but it's kind of like Joe Alwyn and Taylor Swift too.
For sure. And absolutely it is. It's not even a question. You need to be supportive of your partner, whether they're a singer, an actor, even a normal job, you need to show up and show out. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like Dalton did that with her.
So these rumors start going crazy, and this goes on for a really long time. Even when I met Duke in September, like that was one of the first things I said. I was like, "What are your thoughts on the Ariana Grande rumors?" And that is the truth, and that they are rumors, and that truly and genuinely, we have to remember that we have no idea what goes on in marriages. Marriages are extremely complicated. Like Ethan and Lily, that people are like they were together for 10 years, but it's like
You don't know
you
the
don't know what
relationship.
could have happened in 10 years. We truly, and they're like, they had a baby. And it's like,
That doesn't fix
it
everything.
doesn't fix everything. Maybe it made it worse. Maybe they were already separating. And also, like,
Distance also hurts things. I mean,
yeah,
you have to realize they were in London isolated in the wicked world for, was it almost what, two
like a
years?
year,
A
two
year?
years. I don't know.
That's a strain on anything. It's hard,
Yeah,
you know? But it's
100%.
also the dream role of their life. So what are they going to not do it? Of course
We
they
just
are.
truly and genuinely do not know what happened at all. And it's important to remember that this got swept under the rugs, but a few months later, so like in December, I think Page Six, who's the tabloid, the culprit for all of this, posted an article saying that
Page
like all of the reports are unconfirmed. Or what did the article
Well,
say?
because originally there was a quote unquote not confirmed statement of Lily talking all this horrible mess about Ariana, and then Page Six comes back out randomly and says, "We actually never interviewed her, and there was actually no statement from her."
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, it's like was very interesting because it's like you guys are quick to post about all these statements and interviews that she did, but then come out later and say, "Actually, she never even spoke to us."
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. That's huge. That's
Mm-hmm.
falsifying someone that didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a big game changer
Yeah,
for
so that I
people.
noticed a big shift on discourse. So for like 6 months, I mean, if there was a post about Ariana Grande, all the comments were like homewrecker, homewrecker. But
Hmm.
now after that article came out and Page Six said, by the way, we never actually interviewed her, I noticed like about half and half, like comments would say,
It
"Oh, she's a
slowed down.
homewrecker," but then people would respond saying like, "We got like it wasn't
They already
proved
confirmed that wasn't
proven."
true.
So needless to say, Duke and I were nervous when Eternal Sunshine was coming out
Very.
because now she's been really quiet online. She's hasn't had Twitter in like 2 years. We haven't really seen her personality in a while. And if Position showed us anything, we're like, okay, well, is this going to be another like R&B beats album? Are we going to get messy Ari? Because then she stopped tanning, which like I
If you
think
know, you know.
I think like for a while before like her biggest critique and her biggest scandal was like the tanning that she would do.
Tanning. Thank you, next
Because that
tanning.
was honestly like the only palpably bad thing she's ever done. Like, really and truly, her entire career, she's been famous for like 12 years at this
Hmm.
point. Her scandals are Donut Gate, which is objectively hilarious.
I still think it's funny
And
to
I
this
think
day.
everyone is like, okay, that was funny, we can admit. And
She kind of
then,
had a point, to be honest.
like, she did, like, and
Just saying, maybe not the right approach, but she had a point.
like, it's just kind of funny. So,
Yeah.
Donut Gate, and then like tanning and like blackfishing, where I mean, that is true. There are some clips of her that are like kind of cringe, where she's like, "Come on, girl," when
Yeah.
she talks like that, and I'm like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
the
next era, for sure.
thank you next era, and then that one picture of her where she's wearing like on the carpet where she's wearing that like spaghetti strap like corset lace top, and that is always the shoot that gets like
And she was that like Dangerous Woman era?
yeah, where
Yeah.
she and then she so those are like the only two I think like legitimate criticisms of
Mhm.
Ariana Grande. And then so she completely does away with the tanning. And in the last year she's been white as a
More of
sheet
her
of paper.
natural complexion. Yep, more of her natural complexion.
Totally pale, dyed her hair blonde for Glinda. And
Which she did by choice.
yeah.
They offered her wigs, but she really wanted to, as a theater kid, take on the role in all aspects of her life, which I give mad props to.
And she completely did away with her like I don't even know because she will switch voices a little bit. And like
Which I think that's a theater kid thing too.
yeah, and taking on like different personas, and some of it is like preserve her voice. So like the real Ariana Grande's voice is deep.
No,
She has a deep
it's very
voice,
deep.
like very deep. And then so she has her normal voice, but then she would kind of do like her thank you next voice, which would when she's like, "Come on, girl," like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And then she has her Glinda voice. And then so she like switched kind of like method acting a little bit.
Mhm.
So now the only time we've been seeing Ariana Grande for the last 2 years is when she's pale blonde hair and she does like her Glenda voice. And then now people are saying, like, I miss the old Ariana Grande. Like, bring back tan Ariana Grande. And I'm like, you guys are the same people telling her to stop tanning. So which one do you want?
And that kind of goes back to you can't please everybody, and
Hmm.
nobody's ever going to be satisfied. That's
Yeah.
any celebrity. I feel like
Yeah.
that's pretty much, that's why you have to kind of do what she's doing and you stop caring. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
So she starts rolling out Eternal Sunshine. So the reason that she wasn't even planning on releasing music until after The Wickeds. And The Wicked is a two-part movie coming out Thursday, Thanksgiving
Thursday.
2024, and then Christmas or Thanksgiving 2025. So she was not planning on putting out music
It's 2
until
more years from now.
2026. And she said that when the writer's strike happened, they had to stop filming Wicked, I think, 10 days before it was set to be done.
Hmm.
So they were supposed to be done shooting like
It's really that writer strike that got
in
this album.
10 days. I know. Shout out to like the writer's
Sorry, but the
strike.
one good thing
Sorry.
that came out of that. Sorry.
Sorry. So she had to leave London. They had to shut down the studio and she went to New York and she got Max Martin basically and just said, like, let's just see what happens.
No expectation. I do think that when Ariana's in New York, this creative musical side always comes out of her. So I knew deep down something was up. I mean, I know she lives here now, but I feel like every time she's in New York, there's magic with her music.
Yeah.
Sweetener, Thank You Next were also brought together in New York. Jungle City Studios, to be exact.
And Positions was recorded at her house in
Yes,
LA,
in LA.
in
I
Montecito.
just think her best work comes from New York. I don't know.
Totally agree.
I've heard a lot of artists say that their best music comes from New York, so I have to point that out.
So this album was fully written by her. She wrote every song, some with Max Martin, some with her frequent collaborator Ilya. Like some would be Max and Ariana, some would be Ariana and Ilya, some would be the three of them, and a couple of them were just Ariana.
Which is incredible.
So this was a tight-knit project. And she recorded this all, like July through October?
I want to say it ended in November. It ended by November. I know that because I know that they were recording on Thanksgiving because that was a big thing. She said that they were in the studio on Thanksgiving, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And so she took no time off because when Ari does something with music, she does it full. She goes full swing. Like,
yeah.
That's it. Like she gives 100. The fact that people don't realize to record, produce, to do all the involvement she does in a 3-month period, I mean, that is remarkable.
It's
that
quick
that is
turnaround.
a lot. That's like doing 10 different jobs
Yeah.
in one.
And with 3 people.
Not saying that the others don't deserve just as much credit because it takes everybody, but she takes on more than most artists do take on in the involvement process that I don't think people really give her enough credit for. Like her vocal arranging is unmatched.
So this all came together pretty quickly. She started doing the rollout like what I think December 27th.
Yeah, it started on sevens. And I remember that there was a paparazzi video of her back in October, and she was seeing Frankie actually perform. It was in Pennsylvania. I don't know what he was doing in Pennsylvania, but she was out there, and a girl came up to her and was like, Ariana, when are we getting new music? When are we getting the album? She goes, I have to make it first. And I remember that we all just were shattered because we were like, oh, there's no new music coming. Well, she had already been knee deep into this album. So that was kind of, there were little conversations being sparked. So that was cool.
So it was really exciting. And then it had a pretty quick rollout. So she released the lead single, Yes and, in January. Like mid-January. I loved Yes and from the beginning.
Instantly. And it was for the gays, for sure. The voguing moment was the girls and the gays. Definitely.
And that was when I kind of had a sigh of relief because Messy Ari was back.
Oh, yes.
So she's balls deep in these home wrecking allegations. In the lead single, she says, why do you care so much whose dick I ride? And at that point, I'm like, I am sorry, I don't even care if you home wrecked, but like, thank God that like
You're owning your...
like we're getting Messy Ari back because I was so nervous that like she's gonna lean so hard into this Glinda thing and like not address the rumors and like
be so angelic and
pretend
so...
like it didn't happen, but we are getting like the uncut like bad bitch Ari that we know and love, and I'm like, thank God she's back.
And that's what we, like you said, that's what we know and love. That's the female empowerment, the bad bitch anthems, like that is what her fans cling towards with her. That's what she brings to the table.
Yeah. So the album comes out March 8th. Called Eternal Sunshine. And the premise of the album, it's based off her favorite movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is a 2004 indie romance with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. And basically the premise of the movie is that Jim Carrey is this kind of like down on his luck guy who's just lonely and awkward, and he meets this like, you know, whimsical, crazy, blue-haired woman named Clementine, and they fall in love and have this really chaotic relationship. and then he sees her and she acts like she doesn't know him. And then he somehow finds out that she did this treatment from this company called Brighter Days, where they can erase the memory of one person from your brain. So, like, you have to suspend a lot of disbelief. This movie is not like, it's like weird.
It's fictional for
So
sure.
he does the same thing too. So he goes to this Brighter Days thing and they make him bring a box of everything physical that he owns that would remind him of her. So, like, any gifts that she bought him, like any notes or whatever, like anything. So he goes into this treatment facility and they like plug stuff into his brain and they're like scanning the physical items and like actively erasing memories, and the whole movie is a journey in his brain, because his brain, he's also like realizing what they're doing and he's like, wait, I don't want to erase the memory of her, like even though it brought me pain, like I learned so much. It's a really, really good movie. It's kind of like, it's a little weird, kind of like mind fucky, like psychological, not psychological thriller, but kind of like a psychological comedy,
Mm-hmm.
dark comedy.
Definitely dark comedy for sure. Anything Jim Carrey touches is a little bit of comedy. So
Yeah.
dark
And
comedy.
it's a great, great movie.
Also, her favorite actor and human being is Jim Carrey. So
She said her celebrity crush is Jim Carrey.
I mean, that's her end all. That's my Ariana is Ariana's Jim Carrey. So.
100%. So the album is called Eternal Sunshine and the movie is called Eternal Sunshine. And the interesting part is when Ariana and Dalton signed their divorce agreement, in the divorce agreement is that neither parties are allowed to talk publicly about anything that happened in the marriage or anything that caused the divorce.
And she paid him $1 million.
She paid him $1 million. So this album, what the fans are kind of putting together is that the reason why she is referencing this movie so hard with like the music video and like the music and like the title of the album and the title track of the album is because she is using the movie as a vessel to talk about the divorce and as a cover up almost, to because I'm not talking about the divorce. I'm talking about this movie. Wink.
I can't wink very well, but you know what I meant.
Yeah. So I recommend watching the movie. It was really, really good. It's definitely kind of weird. So let's talk about the album.
Whew, it's getting hot in here.
50 minutes into the episode, but the context is necessary. I can take it.
Necessary. Thank you. So the album. Do we want to go straight? Do we want to go track by track? Do we want to do the highlighted tracks?
I think we can. Well, I don't think we need to go track by track. Let's talk about the highlights, but first I do want to talk about the intro.
Okay. And I will say, when I saw that there was an intro, I was a little bit nervous because sometimes, please don't hate me for saying this, but I do feel like sometimes I'm like, intro, what a waste of a track. You could have just done a full song or an interlude. Oh, waste of a track. But that's the greedy fan in me.
Me too.
So I was a little bit nervous. However, Raindrops, the intro and Sweetener delivered, so I should have known. But this intro is not just an intro. It's
not like other.
It holds its own. Yeah. It holds its own. Vocally, it holds its own.
So the intro, like the first words of the entire album, she says like, how do I know that this relationship is right for me? Whatever. Then she says, I've had this interaction about 5 weeks ago that I can't stop thinking about. Does he notice that that's what's inspiring me?
And that right there tells you.
So I'm like,
that's not about the movie.
Oh, shit.
That tells you right there.
We're going there.
This isn't about the movie. That's not
in the movie. I knew this would be a divorce album. Like, okay, divorce album. But like, there's a lot of like Ethan coded.
I mean, there's not any fact to back this up, but I do find it kind of funny. Eternal Sunshine, E.S. Ethan Slater. I don't know. Just saying. Coincidence? Maybe.
And like, there is some, okay, I'm not one of those people that thinks that like every song an artist puts out is autobiographical, because that is like completely moronic. Like, you're creating music, and like Taylor Swift does this a lot. Like, you're writing songs like about other things that inspire you, like a movie you saw or like a book you read or like your friend's relationship. So like not everything is autobiographical. But knowing that this is a divorce album and she's saying, how do I know that this relationship is right for me? Had this interaction I can't stop thinking about 5 weeks ago. Does he know that's what's inspiring me?
Pretty specific.
I was
you asked me 5 weeks. Why is it 5 weeks? Why wasn't it 5 days? I mean, it's a little specific.
It was definitely like tea spilling, so that's when I was like, okay.
I remember my reaction, which is we were talking about why you always listen to albums and have memories attached to it, because I will forever have the memory ingrained in my head of me literally sitting on the couch, hearing that, and like both sitting up and looking at each other and going,
oh wow, this is going to be a
I mean,
journey.
we knew right then, sit down. Sit down.
We were seated. We had the lyrics pulled up on our phone, the music on the TV.
And we were seated.
Okay, so
Always.
then the second song, I guess we're gonna go track by track. Fuck it. Bye. This is the
Our
standout.
favorites.
This is my favorite right now. It was my favorite on the first listen. I loved it.
I think that's also one that, because the public is not so in depth with music, I feel like the public definitely likes a catchy hook, and they like things that are very, like that boy bye. Like, it's very, I feel like it's easy to get in tune with. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? In all ways. So I think that was definitely a very, uh, a good attractive song.
It is the
from there.
catchiest one. I like she references her best friend Courtney. Like Courtney just pulled up in the driveway. I'm packing a bag.
I
Like
love when
bye
she throws the
bye,
personal
boy
tidbits.
bye.
I love that.
Me too. And there's a lot of like treats for the fans.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love.
Hidden gems.
And the next one, Don't Want to Break Up Again.
I feel like when I saw that title before I even heard the song, I was like, ugh.
I know.
I mean, that's just like, it's simple, but it's sad. You
Yeah.
can tell it's going to be sad. But that song is actually a really good. I love that one.
I like that one a lot too. So then we have the Saturn Returns interlude.
Which I honestly was really impressed with for an interlude.
Yeah.
Like, it's really got this sketchy vibe to it that I definitely love.
So it's a voice recording of a NASA astrologist talking
She loves
about
NASA.
she loves NASA. Okay, in the album Thank You Next, there's a song called NASA.
She went to NASA too.
And yes, this is
Actually.
I love that song in Thank You Next. It was one of my favorites. She uses like space as a metaphor for like needing physical space from someone else. The main like lyrics of the song is like, I'm the universe and you be NASA.
I mean,
Get it
how can you
out.
be more genius than that? That it's simple, but it's so dope.
Like she's always like loved space, and then when this song like NASA came out, I'm like, that's so smart to like saying like I am this person's universe, like you're NASA, I'm the universe, you're obsessed with me, but I need space, give me space. Genius.
forever a bop.
And then for the Sweetener World Tour, when she had her stop in Houston, she went to the okay, this is your other homework assignment is it's still on her Instagram. You have to scroll all the way back in her highlights, but you can probably go on YouTube. And she went to the NASA headquarters and they like wined and dined her and they let her dress up in the spacesuit.
Drove her in the little hover
Like,
cars.
yeah, it was so fun. And she like posted, I remember like watching her stories and she like signed the little thing at NASA. She was just like so happy to be there and to meet all the astronauts.
That was probably another defining moment for her. I mean, who can say that? That's
Yeah.
pretty epic, if you ask
And
me.
that just like goes to show that she has so many interests and like she's so grateful and just wants to like
experience life to its
yeah.
fullest.
And like imagine how fun that is for all the astronauts being like Ariana Grande came.
When her mom, I don't know the full aspect, but I do know that her mom works in manufacturing something with parts that go to NASA. Like her mom is very involved in that. So I
That's so
definitely think
fun.
that has something to do with it.
So Saturn Returns, which now it's a concept that I was unfamiliar with until Casey Musgrave. So Casey
Which I
Musgrave
kept hearing it this whole time.
new song Deeper Well came out. The opening lines are my Saturn has returned. And then what did she say next?
When I turned 27, everything started to change.
So the way it works is that every 29 years, Saturn makes a full orbit around the Earth. So the idea is that like because we're all deeply connected to astrology and the cosmos, whether you want to believe it or not, bitch. So when your Saturn returns, like when you turn 29, that means like your Saturn has returned because it's back in the exact place that it was when you were born. That's when you start to have these like eye-opening realizations. And people always say that like once you hit your 30s, you kind of like shed this layer of yourself that's like unsure about who you are and like doesn't have boundaries and like maybe toxic friendships or toxic relationships and you just kind of learn what you will and won't.
That's why they say 30 is the best.
And I'm sorry, like I can't wait to turn
I'm
30.
excited.
Me too.
That's a great
yeah.
feeling.
So she has this like cute little interlude about, Saturn returning, and then it goes right into Eternal Sunshine. So you're not going to notice that this song switches because that's a part of a concept album is that like certain songs end the way the next one starts. So you can't tell the way the next one does. Like Pink Floyd does it a lot. So Eternal Sunshine, which is the title track, this is the tea spilling
She
song.
always delivers on the title tracks, I will say. Does she not?
She does. So Eternal Sunshine, this is the song that reveals that Dalton cheated on her. Brought some other hoe into
Drop
her
mic.
bed.
Drop this mic. Drop the mic on that
So
one.
she basically says like, I hope you feel all right when you're in her.
When it also goes back to what Lily said earlier, is you don't know the complexities of a marriage. Like, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And for everyone to have been calling her a homewrecker and calling her this, it's like you don't know what went wrong in that marriage. And I feel like she doesn't have to explain herself to anybody, but for her to have said that, I think was a very important
And so
takeaway from this album.
people are kind of piecing together that while she was in London filming Wicked and he wasn't coming to visit her, he was inviting other trifling hoes into her house.
Bed.
Imagine being a trifling hoe and being in Ariana Grande's bed with her husband.
I would never feel good about that.
I
mean,
would
never.
Yeah.
Because most of those girls are probably fans of her, to be honest with you. Because who isn't?
Yeah.
You know?
So then in that one too, in the second verse, that's when she says, like, I found a new boy and he's treating me right. So I'm like, okay.
It also kind of goes with the strange of that, like, sometimes the nicest boys are not always the lookers. Like, they're not always the sexiest. I mean, it's true. Like, she's 30 now. She wants someone to treat her good. It's like, Dalton may be like a pretty boy or whatever you want to say, but that doesn't mean he treated her right.
No, totally agree. So this is when we shift into the album and kind of get into the more like fun, upbeat, like found a new boy. So next song, Supernatural. This one is becoming one of my favorites. This is a bop.
It's a bop. And it's like, that's a strong, to me, the title Supernatural is a very strong song title. Like, you've got to really deliver with that. And she did it justice.
Yeah, I love that one too. This boy's obsessed with me. And
I love the voice, like she goes up and down. I love that.
Me too. True Story comes after that, and this is also one of my favorite songs.
It's a leak that was out last year, and it's so good. I had it stuck in my head the last year.
It was a leak. I love this one so much. I think that this song, her vocals sound the best because she's belting in this one.
Yeah, she is belting, and it's got a very simple chorus.
Yeah,
very simple to follow.
I love that one. And then The Boy Is Mine. This was the most highly anticipated one when she released the track list because everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Scandalous because Messy Ari is back. Like,
she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing. And in this one, she says, like, I can play the villain if you want me to. So she's very aware of what she's doing. This was, okay, so I talked about this on my Instagram story a little bit, but there was a leak of a song called Fantasize that everyone was gagged over.
They were playing it in stores and it wasn't even released.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane.
And it's this song that's like, I fantasize about it all the time. If you were mine,
I give this
to you 9 to 5, 5 to 9. Like, so fun. And she never addressed it. Like, I think it quietly just went away. And then when she did a Zach Sang interview about a week before the album came out, she was basically like, first of all, fuck you for leaking my songs.
Highly illegal.
She was like, I'll see you in jail, pirates, thieves. Second of all, like, she was shocked that people liked it. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, so the song was made for someone else. It was made for like a movie or TV show. We don't know what, but basically the song was supposed to be like a parody.
For a girl group,
some sort of like satire of like a 90s girl group. Like, she made it for someone else. She was like, the song wasn't even mine. Like,
she's being an SNL sketch.
Yeah,
sure.
So I don't know what it was made for, but she was shocked that people liked it because she was like, this was kind of a joke. And also, like, hypocrites. She called everyone hypocrites. And I think what she was referring to in that was like people dogging on her for like
being overly sexualized.
Yeah.
She releases, or not releases, but that's probably the most sexual I think you've heard her. And now you love it?
Yeah.
Because it's not released, but then it's too much.
She was just like shocked that like people liked it. And obviously there's an element of like knowing that something's leaked. People are going to be like, this is amazing because I can't like it. So now I like it more.
Yeah. You always want what you can't have.
And she says on the album, there is like a fantasize adjacent song. And that is The Boy Is Mine. I would say I was a little disappointed that Fantasize wasn't on it.
And you know what I try to tell Lily just to bring the positivity? Yeah, but that's one more new song that we got by it not being on there. Yeah. She knew how many songs were going to be on this track from the beginning. It was going to be a short and sweet album.
Yeah. So. And we also like, it wasn't her song to release. So after The Boy Is Mine is the lead single, Yes And, which fits into the album so well. I still love Yes And.
The album in order, for sure.
Yeah, we didn't skip it, of course not. But I mean, cohesive. Now that I have the full album, I'd be skipping Yes And.
But you know what? That's me with like every album. When you hear a single, that's all you cling on to for months leading up, and you're kind of overly burnt out on it. I'll come back to it eventually, but like I want to marinate in the new songs.
100%. And then we have We Can't Be Friends. So we knew that this was going to be this next single, and this was getting a music video.
blowing in the wind. Just, ugh.
This was one that I didn't love on first listen because I was the most nervous for it because I knew
There
this
was so
one.
much build up on it too.
Yeah, like we knew that this one was going to get a music video. So I was like, okay, like we're going to get a music
You
video
had a
for
high
this one.
expectation.
I didn't love it on first listen, but on like third listen, now I totally understand. And the music video is literally Eternal Sunshine, the movie, like her take on Eternal Sunshine.
And I literally cried at one part in the video. It's just very.
It is a.
She's a great actress in the video.
This is the best song. Like this is the top
best
song.
video in my opinion.
Best
I'd go
video,
far.
best song. We Can't Be Friends is incredible. And then we kind of get into this like sad run through. I Wish I Hated You and Imperfect for You. Right now I'm kind of having a hard time discerning between the two
Me too.
because they're really the only sad songs on the album.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Compare. It's definitely. That's why when they say you need to listen to it in order, it definitely is. She placed the track meant. The track placement, I'm sorry, is in the order it needs to be for sure.
I think so too. And those songs are really, they're sad. And she's basically saying, like, you know, I wish I hated you more. I wish that you were worse to me to make it easier to leave.
And she already said, like she said before about Ghost and she'll never perform I Wish I Hated You live.
Yeah.
She went on record and said that, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
The title alone.
And this one,
strong.
One of these, I can't remember which ones, she talks about how, like, she went to therapy and did reflecting on, like, her over-attachment and, like, found out all the things that she needed to work on. But, like, you didn't do anything to work on yourself.
Ugh.
And then in one of these, this is a famous line that's kind of gone viral, is like, you hear me crying myself to sleep and you turn up the TV.
It's like she's been through some dark relationships where I feel like she's the one that's had to keep it together for the guy. I feel like this is like a repeated thing that she's had to.
And she has a lot of mental health issues. She has really bad anxiety. Her concert was a victim of a terrorism attack where like 20 people died. Her
She has PTSD.
ex-boyfriend died of an overdose. Like, being a pop star in and of itself is like anxiety inducing.
She's been through more than a lot of
and then
people
for
have.
this man who's like private on Instagram, he's like never really had to struggle to like not even try to work on himself to save the marriage when you're married to Ariana Grande.
And I really hate the argument. Like, I kind of said something earlier, but it drives me nuts when people are like, yeah, but they dated during COVID. I mean, they were used to being at home. You still knew who you were dating Ariana Grande. Like, you knew what you were walking into.
You went to her concert.
You don't get to play the I didn't realize the level of. Yes, you did.
Yeah,
you knew
did.
exactly what you were doing.
Yeah.
So, no mercy.
So, and then the last one is Ordinary Things featuring Nona, her grandma.
She's a queen. I want her to be my grandma. I honestly do.
Yeah.
Says the funniest things.
This one, like, I kind of like honestly have a hard time remembering her parts in it, but I remember Nona's parts. So the end of this song, which is the end of the album, and what makes it a concept album, because, okay, the album starts with a question. How do I know if I'm in the right relationship? That's the opening of the intro. The last part of the last song, Nona says, if you aren't kissing goodnight every night before bed and you're afraid to do that, you're in the wrong relationship and you have to get out. And then Ariana laughs and it's over.
So there's an answer. She got her answer from someone she loves and cares about, which at the end of the day is something she's emphasized this album is the most important.
Nona is 98 years old.
So she's got the wisdom.
She's got the wisdom.
She's got the wisdom as Italian
genes
are just coming through in that song. It's a great message.
So I'm thrilled with the album.
I am so thrilled. And I feel like with my recommendation to anybody, because I feel like we talked about this, it is definitely an album. I feel like give it a good 2 listens. 2 listens. And I say that with a lot of good music, because the first one you're kind of in shock by some of the lyrics are so like, whoa.
And they might blend together a little bit.
But then the second one, once you've kind of gotten over that initial shock, when I say shock, there are lyrics in here that will have you on the floor. So that's going to be the first listen. The second listen, you really start to get more channeled in with it. And I guarantee you'll fall in love with it.
Yeah.
If you have taste, you will.
It's such a great album. I'm so excited to get to know it. I mean, the way that I listen to music, and I think a lot of people do this too, but like my favorites change. Like as of right now, I've got my top 3, top 4, top 5. In 6 months, in a year from now,
it won't be the same.
It will not be the same.
The ones that didn't cling to you right away will probably be your favorite.
Yeah. 100%. And I can really see online the public discourse is changing around Ariana Grande. And people are making jokes now. I think we're far enough removed from the Ethan and Lily drama. Because, okay, let's face it, when celebrity scandals come out, and I do this too, like, I believe everything I read at first and like I'm really gung-ho about it. But then after like 6 months or whatever go by, I'm always like, oh, I guess it wasn't really that serious.
I think we all just want some storyline. We all love we all love the drama. We do. We all love.
Hmm.
We cling to it. But I think once it weighs in, it's like, wait a minute, that didn't happen.
And it's
That
like
didn't
the
happen.
Haley and Selena thing. Like,
Yep.
and when that was happening, like everyone was like gung ho Selena. Like,
Yep.
if you supported Haley, you were like getting canceled.
But then now
And
she's so
now,
successful with her skincare and
like,
her everything.
tides are shifting, and now everyone's like, it was really never that serious between Haley and Selena. And it's
But
like,
you guys made it that serious, and people remember what they want to remember, and they forget what
100%.
they want to forget.
Yeah. And I think that people are now saying that this album's a banger, and we're far enough removed from the drama. People are saying, like, if Ariana needs to, like, home wreck a relationship to make music this good, let her home wreck.
When you need to realize, trust her with the album process. She's so meticulous and so precise on the sounds to the everything.
Hmm.
Like, just trust her. I trust her. This album we went into blind, no snippets. First
Hmm.
album, she's never teased snippets, nothing, and
Yeah.
it was a smash. So I trust her, and I think you all should too.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this, and I'm excited for, like, the year of Ari, honestly.
She's gonna be all on your face this year, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
me too. Okay, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want to see how grateful I am to have had this experience with you, and I
Oh,
recommend when you listen to this album, listen to it with someone you care about, because I care about Lily a lot in our relationship, and I'm so thankful that when I listen to Eternal Sunshine in 1 month or in 10 years, that I will always have the memories of the last few days we've got to spend listening to the song
yeah,
together.
we
It makes
really,
it 10 times more meaningful.
yeah, like I was saying to Duke that like I'd always wanted like an Ariana Grande friend because I had friends that liked Ariana Grande, but no one liked her as much as me. Like no one understood the lore. And like when Positions came out, when Thank You Next came out, like I was just kind of listening by myself and like going on Twitter and just wishing that I had someone to like listen with and have a listening party.
Hmm.
And then when Duke and I were laying on the couch listening to the album for the first time and Jack was there and I was just reflecting, I was like, wow. So when Positions came out, October of 2020, I was living in Atlanta in the middle of the pandemic, working a job that I hated. And then flash forward 3.5 years later, I'm in my New York City apartment living with my boyfriend and like my best friend that I met on a fucking TV show. Are you kidding me?
It's insane. It is
Like,
so insane.
I just like, I was doing a lot of reflecting and just being like, wow, the last time I listened to a new Ari album, like, I hadn't even moved to Detroit yet. I wasn't even working like the job that I have now. I wasn't even working in PR. Like, I didn't have a podcast. Like,
It's just crazy where life goes when you just like trust the process. Like it all
yeah.
happens the timing it's supposed to, for sure.
And we had such an amazing weekend. Like Duke
Such a great
came and we
weekend.
went to Ariana Grande's favorite restaurant
Which was
because we're stalkers
which
and
she ordered takeout from the same night we were there, 2 hours prior to us getting there.
we go
Iconic.
to this. So in the Zach Sang interview the week before the album came out, she like offhandedly mentions like if you want to talk about the album, like meet me at La Masseria and just glosses over it. And I immediately look up, okay, La Masseria, and I find it's an Italian restaurant in Hell's Kitchen. I'm like, that's gotta be it. Immediately make us a reservation. And we go there and like I'm expecting like okay it's Ariana Grande's favorite restaurant, it's got to be this like trendy dimly lit like servers that like spit in your face and like
Yep.
whatever. And we get off the subway and we're like in Times Square and I'm like what the hell is this, like I haven't been to Times Square since I was 11. And the restaurant, it's on this quiet street like off of the edge of Times Square in Hell's Kitchen, and it's this like brightly lit like it looked like it could have been in any city in America.
Absolutely.
Like it was giving graduation dinner, it was
Absolutely.
giving birthday dinner. And the servers are all these like older Italian guys and the menu's huge and I'm like this is her favorite restaurant.
Absolutely.
Like there was families there, like people going after Broadway shows, like
Very quaint.
it was not fancy at all.
And the servers were giving us probably far too much information about Ariana. We were like, we just asked what was her favorite dish, and it turned into what she gets, what her brother gets, what her brother-in-law gets. It was like, oh, breaking down the brother-in-law's order. I was like, I love Italians. They're
It
so
was
brutally honest.
so funny. Duke, like the second we sit down, before we even say like tap or sparkling, Duke is like, so what does Ariana Grande get when she gets here?
You got this is strictly business.
And the server's like, oh, I didn't wait on her, but this guy did. And then like brings over some other guy and he's like, oh yeah, Ariana Grande. Oh, okay. She sits up there. Very, very simple order, spaghetti,
Red wine.
red wine, doesn't eat much. And then we're like, oh my God, thank you. And then he's like, actually, like, this guy just
Just delivered to her. It's a
delivered to
$100
her.
tip. She's a good
And
tipper.
then so the other guy comes over and he's like, oh yeah, like I just delivered at her apartment. Like she tipped me $100. And I'm
So
like,
I'm like,
as
well,
she fucking should. So then we're ordering whatever. And then the other waiter comes back to deliver more tea. And he's like, oh, you know who has a complicated order? And we're like, who? And he's like, Frankie's husband. So Ariana Grande's
the
husband,
whole family. It's a
Ariana
family
Grande's
affair.
boyfriend's husband has like this complicated order. He's like telling us the order of like Frankie's husband. And it was so funny.
It was such a precious little moment too. And me and Lily are tidbit queens. We love getting the
That
little
is my favorite. Like, I don't like, I would much rather hear like random celebrity, like
facts.
funny stories or like what they order, like what they do, than like unconfirmed gossip.
Oh, for sure, because you feel 5% connected more to them.
It's just like interesting because I can always like discern a little bit about someone.
Yeah.
And it's so like, even like seeing La Masseria, like, so, okay, we went to La Masseria, and then last night we went to this, just me and Duke went to this restaurant called St. Theo's in the West Village. And so we go to La Masseria, you know, tall ceilings, brightly lit, like no one fancy, no frills, just whatever. And I'm like, that's Ariana Grande's favorite restaurant. And then last night we go to this restaurant, St. Theo's in the West Village, and it's like short ceilings, dimly lit, like a buzzing bar. Like we get there 10 minutes late to our reservation, and the host is like, oh, your table's not ready. And I'm like, okay. And then we like go to the bar and we're just standing there for like 20 minutes, and like everyone there is beautiful, and it's like a Friday night,
It's a
and
place to be seen.
the place just be seen, and like people are like dressed all cool and designer and like beautiful people.
Posh.
Like our table, like we didn't mind, but like our table wasn't ready until like 9:30, even though our reservation was at 9, but like we didn't care. It was interesting because you would think that like that would be Ariana Grande's favorite place,
For sure.
or you would think that that would be a celebrity's favorite
It says
place.
so much about her.
But it says so much about her that her favorite place is like this quirky, weird, like no
off
frills.
the wall, kind of dark. No, just the exact opposite. No attention seeking of a restaurant. You go there for the food and the personality.
Yeah.
You do more than
Unlike that St. Theo's place, like I mean, it was delicious. Like honestly,
makes me love her that much.
we liked
more.
it a little better than La Masseria, but
Yeah.
like
But it makes me love her so much more to know she's not all about the thrills all the time. She just wants to feel.
you'll never see her at a club. You'll never,
Never.
see her like
Promise you.
at like some
Never.
dimly lit, like wow, like
She's
never.
not an after party girl.
And she, the other interesting thing that she said on the Zane Lowe interview was that like when she was in New York recording with Max, they would go to the studio every day, walk on the High Line together, which is like this little walking path in Manhattan. They would walk to the studio together every day.
Which I just cannot wrap my head around.
I
It's just
cannot either. And
going on a
like,
walk and just.
I feel like I would be able to recognize her, but honestly,
We would,
probably
but
not.
the way she puts that hat on, puts her hair in a bun, and it barely speaks out of the little ball
Because
cap.
her natural
She's a
hair,
baseball cap girl when
Yeah.
she's trying to hide. Just letting you know.
and she doesn't have like much hair. Like her hair is short and curly.
Yeah, without all the extensions, she
God,
would
I would do
long hair.
anything. We haven't seen her natural hair.
And since 2020,
No, like she released that one
that
bun.
one photo with the curls. I want to say that was what 2020.
I would give my first
She has the most
born
beautiful real hair.
child to see her natural
It's
hair.
gorgeous from the one.
It's
picture she
curly
showed.
and dark.
She's Italian. She has great features for sure.
And but she is so like the blonde ponytail that she's doing. Is that a wig?
Well, her hair is actually blonde now.
Oh, yeah, it
She's
is
dyed
blonde
all
now.
her hair blonde. So no, it's her real hair. She has
But it's
extensions.
like major extensions. Anyways, I would love to see it.
Blondiana.
Blondiana. Okay,
Also, the inspiration for my hair was Ariana.
dude,
Didn't figure that out.
you are the best. This has been the
This
best
has been
weekend.
incredible.
The best weekend
Chef's
ever.
kiss.
Thank you,
Every
Ariana,
trail
and
sunshine.
everyone. Please go listen to the album and report back to us. Like,
Please.
tell us every single thought that you have. Like, I genuinely want to hear it. Like, what songs are your favorite?
And how do they resonate with you? too?
100%.
What do you feel when you listen to them?
Tell us everything. Okay, bye.
Bye.